Welcome back to Waters Iron Works. I am out in my neighborhood park where we have a nice little fire pit here, an old historic building behind us, and I am showing off a project from David Einhorn's Civil War Blacksmithing book. This is a little portable fire grill. We're going to head back to the shop in a minute and make one of these ourselves. You can see, if I move these pans off of it, really very simple design. A couple posts going into the ground with loops on them, 16, 17 small bars going across, and then some other cross braces here. The one thing I'm not a huge fan of in this design is that it feels a little insecure to me, right? If I've got a fire going and I'm cooking, it feels like this could slip and then send everything down into the fire. So we'll take a look and see whether or not we can improve on the design a little bit, try and make this a little bit more secure. So let's head back to the shop, we'll build it, we'll come back out here, and we'll see if it looks like it's any more stable. I'll see you guys in the shop. Great, now we are back in the shop, and I want to show you guys the material that we're going to be using for this project. It actually uses a fair bit of metal. So we've got some 3/8 inch stock. We have two 36-inch lengths, two 24-inch lengths, and then out of 1/8 inch stock, we have 16 pieces cut out here. These obviously will form the two long sections. These 4 will become the legs, and then these are the parts for the grill going in between. So we'll go ahead and make this and take a look and see whether or not it works better than the one that was actually in the book. All right, these look good and warm, so I'm going to pull it out. There's a lot of repetition here, so I'm going to make one of these and talk through it. After I've made one, you'll just see the video, and I'm not going to do any talking on it. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a blunt point on these so that we've got something that we can drive into the ground. Far edge of the anvil, hold at an angle, hammer goes at an angle. We don't want anything real sharp, just a bit of a blunt point there. Make sure that looks nice and straight. This will go into the quench tub, same thing on the other 3. All right, those are all in the quench tub. Little pro tip, since they were in my forge while it was warming up, there's a chance for that heat to really go along the length of them. I'm just gonna come and make sure. You can see these are still steamy quite a ways back. Make sure these are nice and cool. Common way to get a burn is you've got something that's hot up above the water line. You go to grab it out of the quench tub, and you grab above that area that's been cooled down. So I always like to flip things around in the quench tub, really make sure that they're cool. So what we're gonna do now, you guys saw in the other one, I didn't like the design where I felt like the 2 loops where they connect are at the bottom. And to me, it looks like it risks dumping your food into the fire. So instead, we're gonna double these back, make a little U shape, and give it a more secure way to hold on to it. We'll see whether or not it works. All right, these are starting to heat up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of a decorative flat, a point on it, just so it doesn't look like a round bar from the shop or from the store that nothing's been done on it. And then we'll take it back here. We'll make the U using these this jig. We'll see how it comes out. That looks pretty good. So I put just kind of a flathead screwdriver points on it. Again, this isn't necessary, it just I hope is going to make it look a little more interesting and a little nicer. We'll let this warm up and then we'll go to the jig. This is hot, let's pull it out, drop it in the jig. The nice thing about doing it in a jig like this is I can make sure that every one of them is going to come out relatively consistent. Let me actually grab a hammer here. Clean that up a little bit. We'll put it back into the forge and then we'll bend this down the other way. All right, this is good and hot, so let's pull it out. We don't want to mess up our bend, so I'm going to take it over to the quench tub. Quench that off. Now let's bend it back down. Looks pretty good. The other nice thing that this sort of style is going to get us is that we've got, when we're hammering these into the ground, if it's rocky, we're hammering straight onto the steel going down. We're not going to have a hoop that we're hammering on that may wind up deforming the hoop. So let's go make 4 more of these, or 3 more of these. All right, that is all 4. We're going to move on to the cross beams now. All right, these are hot. Let's grab the first one. Same sort of idea, we're trying to keep all this looking similar thematically, so that same sort of flathead screwdriver shape. I did let this one flare out a little bit more than the others, just so they look a little different. All right, we'll bring it over to the horn. Work it around. Knock it back a little bit. Looks okay. So you can see it's offset a little bit so that the bar is sitting flush, so that if you hung it, it would hang straight. What we need to do now is same thing on the other side, and then same thing on both ends of the other one. So I'll quench this off and get it the other side going, and I'll just let you watch. Thanks. So we've got one done. A little hot there in the middle. But unfortunately my loops are on the wrong side. Not a big deal. I'm just gonna heat this up in the middle, twist it, and get them lined up perfectly. We've got the stakes made, we've got the lateral supports made, now we need to make the bars across the grill. There are 16 of these. I'm going to show you guys how to make one, and we'll make the rest of them off camera. In order to really do these quickly, what I like to use is this bending jig from Blacksmith Depot. These bars right here are 3/8 inch round, so as long as I make sure that my loop goes around that bar, then I know it's also going to go around the rest of the grill. So let's heat this up and get it going. All right, so this is a very easy process. Grab it into the jig. Just bend it around here. Take it back. Do 15 more of them just like this. We'll take it back out to the fire pit and see how it looks. All right, well, we are back out at the fire pit again, having finished up the new and improved version of the grill. And I'm gonna have to say, I feel a lot more comfortable with this instead of that loop that we had on the original ones. So if I was going to make more of these, and I probably will, I think they will actually be great items to sell. I'll make some little cloth wraps so that they all wrap up nicely and you can stick them in your car and take them with you. I'm going to continue making them with this instead of the full loop on them. I think that this will be a lot nicer. But this is a great, very easy project. If you were with me on the marshmallow roaster a couple weeks ago, this is basically the same thing, right? It's the same skills that we used to make a marshmallow roaster. We just made a bunch of them in different sizes, and you get a nice little portable grill here. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Maybe in one of these videos soon, we'll get a real fire going and we'll use some of the tools that we've been making in the Campfire series and actually cook out over a fire. Thanks so much, and I'll see you again next week.